Okay, Matt, ready?
Ready to go, mate. Let's do it.
Woo! Yo, what's up, guys? Jeers here, and welcome to another episode of Jeers Inspires podcast. You know, my next guest, I'm very excited because he's my former manager at the Beans Group where I worked previously, and I'm excited to say this, Matt. You know, look how the tables have turned.
Now you're the boss.
Yes,
now you're the boss.
Who's interviewing now? Who's interviewing who now?
I'm honoured. I'm honoured to be here. What can I say?
Yeah, I mean, where's the report? Where's it happening? Yeah?
With you tomorrow, boss. I promise. I'm with you tomorrow.
Well, guys, so Matt was my former manager in this group, you know, and then yeah, man, it's nice to see you. It's been 10 years since I left that company, since we last worked together, and yeah, for me, Biz Group's still the best workplace that I've ever been, you know. So, and you're still one of the best boss that I work with.
Are you just saying that so I say nice things about you on your podcast?
Yeah. You know the drill. You know the drill, right?
That was the brief, right?
Exactly.
Come and say some nice stuff about me.
Exactly. So, guys, thank you so much for watching this episode again. So, again, in front of me, Matt Jennison. Bro, can you introduce yourself to the viewers? The people
Of course.
Know you? Go for it.
So my name's Matt Jennison. As Drew says, listen, we worked together about 10 years ago now.
Yes.
But I've worked together since, right? We've worked together on projects. I always bring him back in because I love his work.
Recently, you just worked, right?
Yeah, we recently just with my current company. So look, yeah, I mean, I've been in this part of the world for 20 years now. My current role, I'm managing director for Explore Performance. So similar business to Biz Group in terms of we operate in the corporate training space, but just much more niche in terms of what we do. So yeah, awesome to be here. Awesome to see where you've come from. I mean, I love your story. In fact, it's a story I tell people when you talk about the potential for growth and having a growth mindset.
Yeah,
mate, you like embody that.
You know, let's start with that. Let's start with that because a lot of my followers can't believe that I wasn't this person back in the day.
Yeah.
Like when I was working with Biz Group, I mean, I'm always a shy person. Can you just give them an insight who Jairus was back in the day?
I can validate. So in fact, we were just talking about this.
Yeah.
I still remember back in the office in Media City.
Yes.
So you guys called me in because we were looking at rebranding Biz Group. So the branding you see, if you know Biz Group, the branding you see today wasn't what it was back then. It was tired. It was looking a bit dated. And you called me in and it's like, come and have a look at this, come and have a look at this. And this quiet guy sat there at his big screen, always with a big screen, always the big screen. Just take a look at these examples. And what you see essentially is the current branding for Biz Group.
Yeah.
That's what was on the screen. I was like, wow, this guy he doesn't say much because you didn't. In fact, you hardly said anything. And then I was like, okay, well, which one do you prefer? And he's like, and your response, and this is the truth. This is full respect.
Sure, yes.
Kind of some mumbled responses. Not much substance to it, but the quality of the work was exceptional. So to see where you've come today, your podcast, the work you do, the training you do, the keynote sessions I've seen you do, I've followed you since then. You know, I love. As a leader, I get my buzz out of seeing people grow and evolve, not because of what I've done, just because there's a sense of pride in that, right? And you're definitely one of those people. You've come a long way, so yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I always tell myself like how much Biz Group unlocked my potential, right? Because I already have this kind of I think these characteristics, right? I have this charisma, but the thing is, I don't have that confidence.
Yeah.
Right. So, but when I work with Biz Group, whenever I see Hazel talk to the stage, whenever during the meeting, I see you talking to the stage. I was like, I always admire these people. I always admire like I wanna be these people, right? One day I wanna speak in front of the stage. You know, I wanna make people laugh, make people get inspired. You know, so yeah. So when I left Biz, I trained myself. Basically, I worked my ass off. Right, I think you've been following me on my Instagram for a long time, and I just tried to like speak in front of the camera again and again and again, and here I am now with my own podcast.
But it just shows you what's possible. And but the key was that what you've focused on is what you were an expert at anyway. Like you were, and you've continued to evolve that skill set in that space, that creative space, and now you're able with the voice that you've established. You've done that. you're now able to share that with so many more people.
Yeah, so true.
Which is awesome. Like it's such a fantastic story.
Yeah, and again, without working with Biz and without seeing you as well, you inspired me so much as well. We worked for at least a year before I left Biz Group, or even less than a year. But I think I've had a lot of like amazing stories from working with you. Being one of that is this podcast alone. Do you even remember that?
This.
Yeah, because remember we developed a podcast at Biz.
Of course. Yes, I was like, what's this guy talking
Guys,
about?
this podcast thing that I've been doing started from way back ages ago. That was more than 10 years ago. Me and Matt developed a podcast for Biz Group. It's called Biz Talks. Remember, from the scratch, from the planning, from the table design, from the logos, from the topics and everything.
Yeah,
we did all of them, and then we produced I think 4 episodes, right? So yeah.
I mean, it was our first crack at having a go at a podcast, right? And the table is still there. So if you go into Biz Group, that kind of big round table, which was designed for that purpose.
And that was before even podcasting is as big as today.
Yeah, before everybody jumped on the bandwagon. We should have continued with that. But yeah,
imagine.
But we've worked together since. We've worked on projects both whilst I was still at Biz and you'd moved on, and then like you say, most recently. So I will always come back to you because of the quality of what you do. Like I love. You've just got an eye for the right scenes and the right shots, and it's trust. We had this conversation, in fact, beginning of September when we were talking about this. The difference is, yes, you can go out and get it cheaper.
Yeah,
there's always someone who's going to undercut you, right? The difference is the output, because if you're going to pay for it, then you may as well do it properly. And so that's why I'll always come back to you, because I love the quality of what you do, and ultimately that's the whole point. Plus, you're a decent guy. Do you know what I mean? He's a decent guy.
I hope so.
He's a good lad to work with.
Yeah, it's interesting to hear that from another guy.
Listen, I always believe if you're thinking something, you should share it, because someone's going to find some value in there, right? If you think someone, hey, listen, I like your jumper, or I like this, or I like your haircut. It's like, tell them, because that's gonna add some value to someone's day.
But imagine if we didn't start the podcast, Joe Rogan will not be Joe Rogan today. If we continue the podcast.
I mean, there's some of these guys out there like Joe Rogan, Diary of a CEO is another one. Like, there's some fantastic podcasts out there. And I feed off that stuff, so I think it's always great to either get involved in one, and for you to start one, I think it's fantastic.
Yeah, so it's true. Matt, can you run me through your career journey? I wanna hear, because I think I haven't heard your story, so I wanna hear from you.
I'll give you the whistle stop tour of my career. So if you go back, it's going back some years right now. I'm showing my age a little bit, but I've essentially been working for 30 years. That's 3 decades.
Oh my God.
So I left school after my A-levels. My mum and dad couldn't afford to send me to university. They were working 2, 3, sometimes 3 jobs. So they couldn't afford to. So I started work, but then I went to night school to study to become an accountant, because that was interesting. People said, "Oh, that's a good solid career. You should do that." I was like, "Okay, cool. That sounds good. I'll do that." So studied at night, worked during the day, did that, and then qualified. So I became a qualified accountant, and spent the first 8-9 years of my career. I know it's hard to believe. I'm probably not your stereotypical accountant.
Yeah.
But that's where I started my career. Qualified, did, 2 different qualifications. And that was awesome. But you know what? Similar to you, I used to sit with the VP of sales, or the VP of marketing, or the VP of ops. And I used to sit there and think, damn, I could do your job. Like, I want to be on that side of the table. Same thing. And so one day I just stopped and turned around and went, do you know what? I've got nothing to lose.
Yeah.
So I took a bit of a punt, and then I was actually having some conversations with the recruiters at the time. And one of those recruitment companies said to me, well, actually, Matt, we are hiring career changers, people who are accountants, to become headhunters. So I became a headhunter. I went into recruitment, did that for about a year in the UK. And then my girlfriend at the time got offered a job in Dubai. I had no plans of leaving. It was going really well. She got offered a job in Dubai. So I came out here, it would have been September 2005 for some interviews.
Yes.
And I was like, wow, this place is amazing. I left 9 days later with 3 job offers. And within a couple of months, I was back. And I don't know, much like a lot of people, I thought, I'll be here for a couple of years. I'll earn some tax-free money, and then I'll be back off to the UK, because I love England.
We all say that, bro.
Dude, I came with a suitcase, and I'm now 20 years later, wife, my 2 kids were born here, family, friends. Like this has become my second home.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, look, that then my career shifted. Then I went into recruitment. I came out here, then started. I worked for another recruitment business out here. Ended up opening an office. I mean, if you think back, for those who were here, 2005 to 2008, before the financial crisis, this market just exploded. So I went from being one individual guy to running a team of about 20 people because it was like, Matt, if you can make money, you can grow the team and make more money.
Yeah.
And so that's what I did. So that was my first foray into leadership, and made a lot of mistakes along the way. Yes. I mean, I really cut my teeth, and I was working for a pretty toxic business, let's call it that. So I learned a lot about what not to do as a great leader. And that eventually led to, it was actually through someone who was working for Biz Group at the time. I don't know if you remember Rachel.
Yeah, Rachel, yes.
Yeah, so she approached me because Hazel was looking for a sales director. And I mean, the rest is history. I was there for 7-8 years. Wow. Which was amazing. I mean, you had Hazel on the podcast. She's an amazing, inspirational human being. Yes. It's changed me as an individual, as a leader, as a father. Yeah. Working in that business and the opportunities that I had there. I left for a short period. We left for about 3 years and went and started my own company. So I had this kind of entrepreneurial itch. Okay. Again, much inspired by seeing what Hazel had done. And then full circle, came back to Dubai, went back to Biz Group for another 18 months or so before I moved to what essentially is a partner company now. So Explore Performance is an adventure learning based business, and they wanted to expand in the region, continues to be a partner of Biz Group, but just much more niche in terms of what we do. And so I'm now managing director for that business, establishing them here. It's a big global brand in terms of its operation. We've got 35 consultants globally. But that brings me up to today, right? So that's what I'm doing now. I'm establishing that entity here. I'm a shareholder in that business, and doing something I absolutely love. So
yeah, that's good. Matt, since you mentioned about leadership, because you're one of the leaders that I admire. We really didn't work that long. Like I worked with Biz Group for 4 years, but I think the last 1 year I worked directly with you. Directly for me. So it didn't last that long, but I noticed just give me insight about your leadership. But for me, I feel like you're more of a silent leader, as for my observation for the last year. So just give me some insight about your leadership, or what can you share about?
Yeah, it's interesting. So my belief is that people have 9 times out of 10 they have way more potential than they realize, and they're capable of way more than they realize. And it's not about what I tell them to do or what I say. It's actually about giving them the belief that they're capable of fulfilling that potential. So it's about giving people some direction, but then space to deliver their best, right? And that's a multiplier style of leadership. So it's asking the right questions, asking more questions than giving direction, and then listening to what they have to say. So people like you and others who the ideas and the thinking and it's there. Yeah. And you just have to create space, and sometimes that means shutting up. Right? As a leader, you need to get out of the way so people can deliver their best work. And that stuck with me. It stuck with me because I've experienced the opposite of that. The kind of more of a micromanagement, constantly people telling you what to do, like do this, do this, do this. And so you're only ever going to be as good as that person can conceive and believe. Whereas if you give people space, and actually sometimes just the confidence. So there's people I've worked with, people at Biz Group, some great stories of people who perhaps they always had the potential, perhaps just didn't believe in their own potential. So it's being a bit of a cheerleader for them, and just being there to say, actually, you can do this. You have got the potential. Just take a leap and see. And then once someone does that, once you've achieved something, all of a sudden everything else becomes a little bit easier. Yeah. Right. So imagine the first time you stepped onto a stage. The first time you're probably nervous, but the second time, the third time, the fourth time, all of a sudden your context is different in terms of what's possible. So that's, for me, it's about, it's not about being the smartest person in the room. It's about helping other people to see the potential they have. And actually that's what I think great leadership is. And it's far more rewarding than being, this micromanaging, tyrannical type of approach to leadership.
Yeah.
I mean, how do you sleep at night if that's how you operate? I mean, I don't know. Not my bag.
Yeah, I would agree that that's exactly what I felt when I was working for you. And then I would use the podcast as an example. Like, remember how excited I was for that podcast.
Yeah.
For me, if you ask me right now which one was the most exciting project I did for Biz Group, I think that would be the podcast. Right. And then
I didn't know that.
I think the leadership that you showed me to that, like, I mean, for me, you just give me the brief. Like, we want to do a podcast, and I want you to handle the rest of the thing. And then I managed to handle everything from the logo design, from the table, from the program itself, from the camera and that stuff. I did everything that I didn't even imagine that I could do back in the day, especially back in the day. That was 11, 12 years ago. And, and then for me, I feel like I was given the first big task for my working career.
Yeah.
And then
Nice.
I think the confidence you gave me, even though you're not the typical micromanager stuff. You don't ask me a lot of questions about what's going on here. Is done. It's just, here's the task. Go for it. You handle it, and then show me the result. And that's exactly what you did.
So think about that right now. Imagine the opposite approach there. Now, this is a field that you're the expert in.
Yeah.
Not me. You're the creative guy. So,
Exactly.
so imagine now as a leader that I decide that I need to dictate to you how you're going to do that. It doesn't make any sense. Like, why would you do that? I'm not. You don't hire people like yourself who are experts in what they do, and then dictate how they do things. You give them the end. The end goal is to create a podcast that we can use to create some content that helps share some of our thought leadership.
Yeah.
Why then shut you down by giving you too many parameters? It's like, that's the end goal. You figure out how to get there. You're smart. You'll figure it out.
Exactly.
And then you fill the space. Because I didn't know how that would turn out, but you had, it's giving you 51% of the vote is what you would call it, right? So I've still got a voice, and I still want to make sure we're on brand and all of those kind of things, but I'm going to trust you. You got 50, you decide what the table looks like. You decide all this stuff.
The equipments and, everything.
Yeah.
Everything.
Because I don't know anything about that. That's not my expertise. So why would I dictate to you? It makes much more sense.
Yeah.
And in any context, and for anyone who's leading a team, if you hire smart people, don't then shut them down by trying to dictate and control everything they do. You need to let go a little bit. And is there some risk there? Yeah. Could it have gone wrong? Yeah. But actually, the risk of not tapping into that potential is far greater. I mean, it's just crazy to think that some people, that's how they lead. They've got to maintain control.
Yeah.
But it comes through fear. So I'm comfortable giving people space. In fact, I love seeing the results, and I love that you shared that story. I didn't actually realize for you, I'd forgotten, and you were like, I was like, okay, now I remember, of course, the podcast.
Yeah, right.
But I didn't realize the impact it had on you. Like, I love that.
And imagine, I managed to apply all those lessons I've learned from that project that you gave me to this podcast. Right? When I was starting this podcast, I was like, I applied the same exact thing from that project, from that Biz Talks project, So, awesome. I mean, just, right? I mean,
that's a story I will tell. I'm definitely going to borrow that and tell that story.
Yeah, right. I mean, but also that was one of my worst heartbreak because we didn't manage to continue I was like,
we should have done.
God, we
should have done.
And back then, no one knows really doing podcasting that much, right? Imagine if,
But with what we know now, like, imagine how we might do things differently. Because, things like finding like the right guests, people who have some value, and even my understanding now of what good looks like, and finding the right people with the right voice.
Yeah.
But that's more so because I've listened to more podcasts. I've absorbed more of that, and now I've got a better feeling of what good looks like in terms of the audience and what you want to give to them. And I think with hindsight, that's what I think we didn't get quite right. That's where I think we didn't quite figure out, how do you, and for other people as well, how do you get the right voices for our audience?
Sure.
So I think this, but that's what,
it's okay.
Yes, that's the lesson that we've learned from it.
So it's safe to say that this podcast will never be possible without this gentleman in front of me. Who would have thought, bro? I mean, really.
I mean, what do I know about podcasts? I mean, sit me in front of a camera. I'm happy to talk all day long. But I mean, down to you. You did all the hard graft.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
And you owned it. So fair play.
Yeah.
And awesome to see where you've got to now.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, again, look how the tables have turned.
Honestly, like, you sat me down, do this, do that. I'm like, whatever you say, boss.
Exactly. Okay, Matt. Let's talk about your being a trainer or a presenter. right? Because you've been doing a lot of training these days, right? And then I just seeing your style, like I was like, you have so much energy whenever you present in front of people.
Yeah.
And when I filmed you a month ago at Museum of the Future,
Yeah.
and I think I've learned something. Like I think I need to put up more energy when putting my workshops and stuff, you know. So yeah, you've been doing a lot recently. Can you just give us some insights about your
Sure. Yeah. I mean, look. So that was a great example. I mean, we had 150 people at Museum of the Future. That was for me, that was a great venue and an important gig, important client. And it was post-lunch as well.
Yeah.
So you've got the post-lunch slot, you've got about an hour and 45 minutes, and you've got 150 people who are sat there waiting for you as the facilitator, the person on the stage to bring this experience to life. And so you've got to maintain that energy, because if you don't bring that energy, for me anyway, that's my style. I need to bring that energy and enthusiasm to what I'm doing, because I want them to bring some energy and enthusiasm, and hopefully they'll match you. The irony was, at that event, which you would have seen, their energy was off the charts. I mean, it was actually then became there was a bit of crowd control going on to try and keep the session moving, because they were so enthusiastic. But sometimes you don't get that. Sometimes you get, fairly recently I ran a session, I won't say who for, but it was a much more serious crowd who were a lot less willing to meet me halfway. So I had to adapt my energy. And if you'd have been there that day, you would have seen a very different approach. I had to temper some of that, because that enthusiasm, that energy would have been too far. So I think when you're facilitating in front of whatever the size of the group, I think you've got to find ways to bring the energy.
Yes.
Keep it high, but also you need to match listen to match the room and see what's going on in the room, sense the kind of personalities in the room. Because sometimes people aren't, if you're too over the top, I think people will also then back off.
That's true. Yeah.
So I guess that's maybe it's an instinct to some extent, but sensing the energy in the room, if you feel it's dropping off, you need to bring it up a little bit, but not going too far. And then keeping things moving, recognizing when people or groups are disconnected from what's going on, because it happens, people get distracted.
Yeah.
And if you've facilitated these things, right? If you've got 30 or 40 people in the room, it can be easy to lose people. So having a script, but not sticking too much to the script, and sensing different personalities in the room, looking for people who are keen to get involved.
Yeah.
I love doing that and looking for people who are willing. One of the things we use, the
vest.
We have the vest thing, the jacket of accountability.
Okay.
What I'm looking for there is personalities who are willing to, put themselves out there and wear that. It's a life jacket, right? And it's the jacket of accountability. And that person's responsibility is to pick out anyone that's using a phone or distracted during this session. So before I get to that piece, I'm looking for individuals in the room who I think are willing to do it. Who might volunteer for it, and who will play that role to create a bit of back and forth between me and the group in the session. So different ways to try and bring other people into it, or personalities who have got a lot to contribute, and they can help bring the energy as well, and they'll bring their colleagues up. But yeah, I get a huge buzz from it. I get some healthy apprehension or nerves before I go on stage, but more than anything, I love the adrenaline of, when I was backstage there waiting to come out. And the event organizer said, no, don't, just hang back. We're going to do like an announcement. And then you come out on stage. I was like, okay, cool. Like the buzz and the energy before you come out, I love it. And then the impact when you see, because although we're having fun, right? There's an element, it's more than just team building, right? What we're doing is taking people through an experience, an expedition experience, facilitating that experience, and they learn through doing as opposed to through telling. And so the beauty of it is when you get to the end of that, and if you can facilitate to the point where people have these aha moments, they're like, wow, I didn't really look at it that way. I didn't think about intentional decision making. I didn't think about the power of cognitive diversity, or whatever the concept is. And then you see the light bulbs come on. Yeah. And you would have seen this, right? I've seen you doing this with where you're an expert, like leveraging your expertise. Like light bulbs come on. You've changed someone's life in some small way.
It's true,
and that's an awesome feeling. So, I think but what you talk about in terms of my energy that I bring, that's I guess that's my style. I have a just all in. And authentically me, that's what you see.
Actually, I thought I had the most energy in the room when I was presenting, but then till I covered your workshop, and I was like, oh shoot, I'm doing something wrong this whole time. You know?
Not at all. But it's an interesting point. You are authentically you.
Yeah.
And it's the authenticity that people buy into as opposed to trying to be someone else. Like you've got this style and enthusiasm and clear passion. And also you're a subject matter expert.
Yeah.
So you've got a right to stand up there and share. Like you've lived it and experienced it. Like you've walked the talk. So I think it's that. I would encourage you not to, or anyone doing that, don't try and be someone you're not.
Yeah.
You know, authenticity is the key. You know, if that's really you, who you are, people feel that. They sense it. It's like a sixth sense, right? They can sense when you're being authentically you. Whereas if you're over the top enthusiastic with too much energy, people might look at that and go, that felt off.
Yeah.
So I think authenticity is important.
A huge part of this, I think, is you've been a sporty person your whole life. Like I've seen you doing a lot of sports, you know.
Yeah, I'm big into I used to play a lot of football growing up and over the years, and then when I had kids, football eased off.
Yeah.
And I got into triathlons and endurance sports and that kind of
thing.
Now. Still now, yeah. Look, I mean, I'm 48 years old now, so the body is starting to tell me, is starting to moan a little bit, but I just tell it to shut up and I crack on with it, get past all the injuries. But I'm still out there, running and doing endurance events.
Yeah.
Next one is going to be a 50-kilometer race up in the Hatter Mountains in December. So I love, here's what I believe. I believe that you learn more about yourself and it doesn't matter what the race is, it's whatever your next step is. So it could be a 5K for one person, it could be a 50K or a 200-mile race, doesn't matter. But I think you learn more about yourself through those experiences just through that day or that few hours than you might do in several years. Like there's something about building up to something and training for something and then putting yourself through an experience that pushes you to your limits physically and mentally, that you learn a lot about yourself. So for me, that has always been a part of my personality. And triathlon was probably the biggest life changer for me. So you and I were just talking about this. So you remember when my youngest son was born. So he was supposed to be born in the September of 2014, and I was due to race my first Ironman, and that would have been in July, on July the 14th.
Okay.
And he came early. He came on July the 11th. So I thought he was still going to be another 3 months away. And you remember, we were, in the old office, he was born at 28 and a half weeks. 3-4 days before I was due to race, and I said to my wife, I was like, well, I can't go. And she said, absolutely not, you will go, because I mean, he was in hospital. She's like, you've worked hard for this, you go out there and you win it for him. And it chokes me up even thinking about it now. Like I was touched because my wife gave me like the permission to do that, but it changed me. That whole experience changed me, because I went, if you look at this, I've got photos of this as I raced. I mean, I had his name written on my arm. I had a bisball tucked into the back of my bike with young fighter, which was what the hashtag I'd had for him. And so my son, my 28 and a half week old son, who was born at that point, when I did the hardest thing I've ever done, was fighting for his life in an incubator, right? But it's a story of inspiration, because actually that day I was like, well, I'm going to go through an Ironman, which is it's a 3.8 kilometer swim, followed by a 180 kilometer bike. Wow. Followed by a marathon. It took me just short of 13 hours. I think it was the hardest thing I'd ever done for me. But the whole time, whenever I was, you go to those dark places where you're suffering, the only thing I thought back to was like, well, if he can get through what he's going to have to get through, then you can be damn sure I'll get through this. And now everything since then, everything that's hard or challenging for me has been framed by that. Everything all of a sudden, it's like, well, if I can get through that, then whatever might be hard for me right now, then I can get through that as well. So that's what sport has given me. It's this unwavering belief in my own potential, right? And you wherever you found it, I can see it in you, right? You obviously believed in yourself.
Yes.
And in spite of the fact you were like, well, I would love to be that, but I've never done it. And you were that quiet guy. I think it's a great example of what's possible, what human beings are capable of human potential, which is something I'm passionate about.
Yeah. And this is what I like about having this podcast, like hearing that story from your son. Like it's something we never even discuss about it. We never plan about that story,
No,
but it came out like naturally, right? And again, this is what I like about having a podcast discussion.
Yeah, it's a difficult one. I talk about it, but I still get emotional about it. So I'm like, I get a little bit. I have to kind of like suppress this feeling because when I think back to it, I mean, he was so close. I mean, several times he had to be revived. It was touch and go. And even after he was in ICU for 3 months, even after that, we were back and forth to the hospital for months and months and months afterwards. It was always something. And then he was, his blood oxygen would drop. So, but he to this day has got this unwavering kind of sense of, more than resilience, like his ability to fight through anything and endure. For the only reason I can see is that he obviously went through this incredibly tough start to life. So I think these experiences shape us, right, as human beings. So that for me, that experience shaped me, both what he went through, what we went through as a family, and then wrapped up with that whole experience of completing this Ironman race, which I'd set my sights on. Yeah, hardest thing I've ever done. But when you do something hard, the context compared to anything else you then subsequently do, it changes your mindset, your belief in yourself. And like I say, for me, what are we capable of as human beings? We are capable of so much more usually than we give ourselves credit for. I live my life by the adage, life is not a rehearsal. To the point, I mean, I literally have the words tattooed across my chest, really? Right? Life is not a rehearsal. You get one shot at this.
Yes.
People will say life is short. I disagree. There's nothing you can do that's longer than your life. It's that we don't make the most of the time that we have, I think, is actually more pertinent. So you got to go out there and get it. And again, I look across the table at you and I'm like, this is an example of a man who lives life like it's not rehearsed.
Okay, let me also tattoo that in front of me.
Tattoos are each to their own. I mean,
I have the same chest as you, bro.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still trying. It's not so easy now. I'm pushing 50.
Yeah, but I mean, joking aside, I'm a father myself. I admire everything you've done for your son, and man. I mean, I can't even imagine. Like, if I experienced that myself, I can't even imagine the pain or the anxiety that would give me while I'm working. So for me, it's just, I think that's a great achievement for you as a father, So
I mean, but it's a family thing, right? We're a team. Myself and my wife Van, we are. We work together as a team. We're there for each other. We're best of mates. We're both similar personalities. And actually, at the time, arguably, she did the hard graft. She was closer to it all, And you're there to be the best you possibly can be. And this is a dad, right? You do the best you can.
Yes.
These kids don't come with a rule book and a playbook of like this, do this and do this.
Yeah.
And even if you ask other people advice, like you're going through, your situation is yours. But yeah, I mean, what you've been able to give as a father to your kid, right? That's special, right? Because you're around, you're an inspiration, and your story in itself, like how you've shown up, I think is an inspiration. So you should be proud of that as well.
Yeah. Is there anything you wanna mention to the people? Is there any mic drop moments you wanna share?
Mic drop moments. Look, I'll go back to my, I live by the adage that life is not a rehearsal. You get one shot at this. So go out there and do it, feel the fear and do it anyway, however scared you might be. And like I think you are a great example to your audience of going out there and doing it anyway, right? From where you were 10, 11 years ago to where you are now, there's many, many examples and moments. I'm sure you could reel them off of where you've gone, I'm scared here, or I'm nervous, and you did it anyway. Do that. life is not a rehearsal. You get one shot, so make the most of
Yeah,
it.
and I want to use this opportunity to thank you because as I told you, you've been a big part of where I'm right now. You know, everyone at Biz, all the my leaders at Biz, you know, you became a huge part of where I'm right now, and then I'm just very, very grateful that I met you. You know, I met Hazel. I work with Biz Group, so yeah, I'm happy to be here. And again, look how the tables have turned.
Thank you, boss, for spending some time with me. Let me know if I can
Matt
get that
Jennison,
report
thank
to
you
you later.
so much for being here, man. You're very inspired. You inspired me in so many
Cheers,
ways,
bro.
especially hearing your story with your kid, man. Amazing, and I wish you all the best.
You too, bro.
You know, and then we're going to work more together. In the
I look
future.
forward to it.
You know, and then yeah, man, let's catch up. Let's do some marathon the next few days. Yeah, let's do it.
Tomorrow, let's go.
Actually, have a flight to catch up. So next week.
Drews, next time.
Thank you so much, Matt.
Cheers.
Guys, thank you so much.